Hello again, my people. Hello again. This is continuation of the video that you have just posted. The topic is Black people v Jesus. Black people v Jesus. Right? I wasn't finished with it, you know. Now I'm going to continue from where I left. Right? I was telling you that, you know, black people go becoming delusional, thinking that there is Jesus, because this is a myth. It is a man-made thing. There is no Jesus. God lives within you. God is spirit. That is what it is. I don't understand when you say Jesus lives in heaven. What are you talking about? Because as far as I know that Jesus is, God is spirit. So how can he live in one place? If he was living in one place, then he is not spirit, because you can visit him there in heaven, so-called, and see him over there. And whoever, you tell me who has gone to heaven and visit him and see that Jesus, God lives in heaven, then come back here on earth and tell us that, oh, really there is heaven there. None. You just believe something that is not there. A myth. You understand? So, the only thing that African people should understand and should know is their own culture and an ancestor culture. You should know where you come from, understand who you are first. Because the problem that we have as black people is that we don't know who we are. We copy everything. Everything that is there, we copy it from other cultures. I'll give you an example, like our women, for instance. They wear these wigs and stuff like that, this long hair and stuff. They don't want the hairs that were created by this God or Jesus that they are talking about. He created them. In other words, they're telling him that you created wrongly. You created us in a wrong image. So they like to copy other cultures, which is, these cultures with long hairs and stuff like that. So that's why they go and buy this artificial hair and put it in their heads so that they think they become beautiful. Because for them, to themselves, they are not beautiful with short hair and dark hair, and in African hair. They don't believe that it's human. That's exactly what it is. So they copy everything. So that's why these imperialists brought the Bible into you, and then you decided to throw away your ancestry, your culture that your grandfathers used to do. You decided to take somebody's stuff. You forget that this Israel that you're talking about, they do rituals. The Jews do rituals. They do it. You can see in their holidays and all of that, cutting a chicken and do it this way in their head. What is that? It is their culture. You don't see it wrong there. But when an African does his own culture, you come around and condemn it, that you say Jesus doesn't like that. The other guy that is on television talking nonsense, I don't want to mention the name, but he knows himself. He goes around and tell people that this so-called Jesus doesn't like the children born in 2000. And people listen to that nonsense, really. People listen to that nonsense. There is, they spend time listening to that nonsense. Ask this guy, have you gone to Jesus? Have you gone to heaven and come back and say, well, heaven is like this, or Jesus is sitting there, God is sitting there? He has never done it. But you believe that nonsense. You never even research yourself and think. Open your mind and think for yourself for once. Don't rely on these so-called prophets, so-called pastors, so-called what. Research yourself, find the truth for yourself. And then you come here and tell us the facts. Not something that is hearsay. Something that you read in a book. Somebody wrote it. And these people that are there in that Bible, they were illiterate by then. Who wrote this kind of thing? Who wrote it? And these things were written in Greek. And who knows that when they were translating to English, they put it in a right way. And you believe that without asking questions. What kind of a nonsense is that black people really have decided to throw away their culture and bring somebody's culture and make it sure that really they are the things that they are doing it in their homes and all of that. Let me shock you. Let me shock you. In this so-called Bible, how come there is no name that bears the black person? Okochuku, Uche, Temba, Vusmuzi, and all of that kind of stuff. How come they are not there in this so-called book of life? There's only English names in there. John, James, Peter, Dorothy, Israel, whatever nonsense that is. There is zero name that is an African name in this so-called Bible. But you're saying this Bible, Jesus in the Bible loves everyone. Are you delusional? Are you demented here? Are you demented? Because whatever you believe something that you don't know. And this God that you think you know, you don't know this God that you believe in. You believe in some air. That's what you believe. Nothing whatsoever. You don't know nothing. You just believe nothing. No, if we talk now, call the name of Jesus now that you don't have a job. There are too many African people don't have jobs in their countries and all of that, but they go every day, pray, pray, pray. How come this Jesus haven't come to you and say, there's the job? How come this Jesus how come he has never created any firms, factories and stuff like that so they can employ these so-called Christian, the people that are following him? How come he hasn't done it? You go and work for someone else. A human being created a job and you go and work there. And you as a Christian, you go and work to somebody who doesn't even believe to this Jesus of yours. You go and work for that person. But this Jesus of yours that you believe in never even created anything called a factory. What kind of a Jesus is that? What kind of a father is that who doesn't want to see a children or his children, progressing and stuff like that? Wake up, people. Just wake up, please. Wake up. Follow. Know where you come from. Know your roots. Once you know your roots, you're never going to go wrong. You're never going to go wrong. And this myth that you believe that dead people, your siblings or your family, when they die or they pass on, they are dead forever. They don't exist. You are so delusional. This is why I'm saying you don't know nothing. Nobody dies. No one dies. Only this body, the physical one, dies. Then you burn it and whatever it is, because that's where it came from. It came from ash. It came from dust. That's where it's going to go. But the soul does not die. It goes back to ancestors, to its people. That's where it goes. Not that issue that the Bible tells you that, the dead and the living, they are not. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Because you don't know spiritual. The life is spirit. Life is spiritual. You should know that. Life is spiritual. Spirit don't die. Spirit don't die. So you must understand that whoever dies in your family is not dead. Only the physical body that you see is dead. But the spiritual being is not dead, is alive and watching you. Bear there is watching you. Is watching you. That's why these so-called native doctors, they can work someone, go into the grave and work the spirit of that person you say is dead, and come and torment you. But you say this person is dead. He ain't dead, because the spirit don't die. So you got to wake up, African people. Wake up and throw this stupid Bible called the Bible and Jesus and whatever you think. These people, that doesn't do nothing for you. You must wake up. Wake up and follow your roots, where you come from. Know as a black person who you are. Until then, you got another thing coming. You'll suffer until you go to your grave calling this Jesus, Jesus. My mother, let me tell you about, my mother was a Christian, Seventh-day Adventist. I used to tell her that you will die and before this Jesus Christ come. When you call it Jesus, he ain't gonna come. And even when you die, you won't meet this Jesus. And my mother died without it. When I was born, I'm too old now. When I was born, I was told about this Jesus that is coming, is coming, is coming. And this nigger has never turned up. Now you telling me that you believe something that is not there. Somebody just pour something in your head and then you say, believe this, believe that, believe that. Wake up, black people. Go to your roots and then you see your life will come back to normality. What's up, my people? Wake up.